Hey everyone, Carl and Erynn here. Hey to all our Patreon folks. We've got a great C tune, Old Straw Bonnet, and that's from Roy Bennett of Kentucky. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. The melody's great and it's fun to back up to. So how can you go wrong? Old Straw Bonnet. Thank you, Erynn. All right, that's a fun tune. So, Old Straw Bonnet, let's see if we can get into the inner workings there of that tune. I think it's a lot of fun, like I say, to play the melody, and also fun to play the chords. So I think what I'll do first, let's just look at our basic chords in a double C tuning for a second, because one thing we're going to want to do in the first part is just C to F and C to G, but I throw a little A minor in there and my little banjo tab, so it's just it's going to be a C, and I'm just going to use the low bass. And the F chord, let's go ahead and do a third string, second fret, and the third fret, first string for an F. For say we're going to do some down the neck forms for the second part. So C, second fret, and everything else open, and the F. Then I'm going to C again, the first string, second fret, and then A minor. You just reach over and get the second fret, third string. And for G, let's just copy that shape on the second and fourth string, 2 and 2, back to C. So the whole first part back up would be just something like this. Low bass, and there's that F, third string featured. A minor, G and C. C, A minor, G and C. And that's putting a little more movement there. You can do a lot of C and a lot less, which works great. But on the banjo, just to learn our shapes, it's fun to put a little more movement in there. The second part, let me give you something to think about. We'll just do that C here, open, 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 and second fret. And if we keep that shape and move it up to the 5th fret, you bar 5 and get the little finger on 7 is what I like to do. That gives us a nice F up here. And if you move that toward the body 2 more frets to 7, you got a G. And you know how we did an A minor down here on the first string, second fret, and the third string, second fret? You can get a nice, if you take that bar from 7 to 9, and instead of having a fret space, go to 10 on the first string, you got a beautiful minor shape there. So keep that in mind. Major would be a fret between, minor. So the second part, what I've done is use those shapes, like I got a C down here with the open strings and the second fret, first string. Then I go way down to that A minor on 9 with the 10 on the first string. A minor to G is 7 with that major form, right? Then I go back to C. Then I'm going to go bar 2 and get a D sound with that 4th fret all the way up to your G. Okay, and then it does that again, C, and I go way down to that A minor, G, and down to F, and G, and C. So listen to the way that backup sound, using that just about one shape and making it a minor, A minor there. And I'm catching one other chord I'm doing that's kind of fun is the D to, bar and the 4th fret, and take it down to 7 with the little finger. And I'm going to give you one other thing to try a little later for that, make it a bluesy thing. So here's the whole backup of the second part. One way to do it. This time you go down to bar 5, F, back up to 7 and C. A minor, G, C. Bar 2, D and G. A minor, and down to 5. G to C. So that'd be some fun backup stuff there. But let's go ahead and delve into the melody there. It's got a really interesting and again, on the banjo, you always have several ways to do it, and sometimes there's some good ways and some hopefully the good way will make itself known, because you can try it about 3 or 4 ways and they can all be tricky. And just pick the one that feels good, and everybody's techniques are at different stages. So here's what I thought for the first phrase. I do a little pull off from 4, open on the 2nd string. That's my first note. Pull off, 4, open. And then I go down to the 2nd fret, 3rd string, my first finger on the left hand, and a drop thumb to the 4th fret on the low string. And it goes to the 3rd string after that. So here's the whole, sounds like a chicken reel kind of thing. If you went back, it would be chicken reel. So it's just exactly the lick of a chicken reel fiddle tune. But you have pull off, 4, open. Then you get the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and my index on my right hand gets that. Thumb drops to the low string for the 4th fret, and back to the 3rd string. And you hit that again with the 5th string. So that's the first phrase. I'll do it slowly a few times. 1, 2, 3. And the fiddle comes in with an extra note. It comes over they have an extra note. We're not doing the pickup. I'm going to let the fiddle do that. And we're just going to come in on the, they be da-da, we come in dee-ba-da-ba-dum. So here it is really slow. 1, 2, 3, pull off, drop thumb, 3rd string. 1, 2, here we go. One more time slow. And one time really slow. That's the first phrase. Very fun. And then we get to work that 3rd string, 2nd fret, 1st finger anchors that, and you're going to do a hammer to 4. Then you're going to go to the 2nd string, and you go back, keep your 1st finger down. You're going to go back to holding that 2nd fret down. You're going to hit the 2nd string open and come back with a drop thumb on that note. So let's just try that a few times. So you've got 2 anchored on the 3rd string, 1st finger. Your 3rd finger hammers to 4. Then you get the 2nd string open, and you drop the thumb back to that 2nd fret note again. So you just put that 3rd finger down for the hammer and take it right back off, keeping that 2nd fret. Then you have the 1st string and the 2nd string. So let's just do that a couple times there, those 2 phrases. 1, 2, here we go. Pull off, drop, thumb, 3rd string. Now anchor that finger. 1 and 2. That's the first, halfway through the first part. 1, 2, try it again. Okay, then we get a little bit of a variation on that. It's going to be that 2nd fret, 1st string, using the 5th string, back to the 1st string, 2nd fret, and you get that 4th fret again. Sort of you're ending up that same phrase you had before, the chicken reel. So it's like this. Okay, so 2nd fret, 1st string. You can do it different ways. I think that works the clearest. Drop thumb, index on the 3rd string. And then you're going to be a similar phrase come to bring it all to a culmination. You got that hammer again. But this time you keep the 4th fret down, the hammer note down. So hammer, drop thumb, back to that 2nd string. So listen to those 4 phrases together and notice the similarities and the differences. So the first part of Old Straw Bonnet, that's the whole part, because it just repeats that and you've gone through the part once. So I've shortened it on the tab to 4 measures. You repeat that and you've done it, done it 1 time through, which is what the fiddler does sometimes. And if you wanted to do it twice, you'd do it all again. So here we go, really slow, the whole first part of Old Straw Bonnet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3rd string, hammer. 1st and 2nd. Drop thumb, 3rd string. Keep the hammer note. And does that again. 3rd string. That's beautiful. And it almost reminds me of that one phrase. It reminds me of old rhythm and blues piano player or something almost. It really sounds almost like a very groovy piano lick coming in there. So the second part gets into a nice, what a lot of fiddlers can do pretty easily. It's a little trickier on the banjo, but not too bad. I've kind of, again, I didn't put the pickup note, which is that, they do that little wild note there, that 4th fret note. We're going to leave out the pickup, and I think the fiddler will be doing that anyway, so if we're playing with the fiddler, this will work out great, and it sounds good not doing it at all. So we're going to start with that, again, the same pull-off. We had the 4th fret, but this time, instead of using my 3rd finger to start, I'm going to use my 1st finger, because we're going to be up on this 5th fret with my second finger, my little finger is going to get the 7th fret. So you have a pull off on that second string, 4 open. Then you're going to be getting the 5th fret. You're going to keep hitting the thumb on that second string. You get a drone note, 5 with a drone note on the second, and 7, and back to 5. So this is the whole, comes up a couple times. Well, it actually comes up 3 times in the second part. So that's cool. So you have that pull off, get the 5th fret, second finger, and open thumb drop, 7 with a thumb drop, back to 5. That's the phrase. So just practice that a few times. That's fun. Beautiful. Now we're going to do something, there's ways you can do, and some of the players that do a lot of melody will fret the 5th string, and I'll show you ways to do that, but I'm going to do what I call a ghost hammer. What notes we need is, so what I do a lot of times, I'll get that 4th fret, 2nd string, and my little finger I'll hammer. You really could hold that slant down, 4 and 5, and you're going to get that little finger hammer. It's hard to get that note, but you got to get you really got to get hammer. Another way you can do it to really be picking each note, you can get the little finger on the 7th fret, and then do this drop thumb. I think the ghost hammer is a good way to do it. My action's a little bit high right now, so it's a little hard to get that. Depends on your action, but anyway, hold that slant down, do your little finger hammer after the 4th fret. Then you get this drop thumb, 1st and 2nd, open, 1st string. So it sounds like this. If I did the little finger on the, fretting the 5th string, it'd be, so you can get them clear that way, but it's a little bit of a stretch. You could try that. That looks kind of cool too if you want to work that hard, but you almost get it this way too. So here's those 2 phrases together. The second part starting. And it's going to do that first phrase again with the pull off and the 5 and 7 and the drop thumb. Then this time you get back to the first part, that little, well, you started the first part. Exactly the chicken reel kind of maneuver. So that's nice. And so that's the whole halfway through the second part. I'll try that. Right. I'm just going to do it again. I'll try fretting that little string, 7th fret, this 5th string. Right. Let's see. On the second phrase. Right. And it's going to have an ending phrase here, which is very fun. We're going to do a couple of shifts. It's going to go up to that hammer, 2, and then go to the 3rd fret. I'll shift my 1st finger up here. I'll get a little closer so you can see it. Hammer, open 2, then go to the 3rd fret, right? And then I'm going to do a drop thumb after hitting it again. Then scoot down to 5 with a bar and a ghost hammer, or you can fret that 5th string again. And a drop thumb. Then you're just going to have that 4th fret, open 2nd, and the 4th fret 3rd. So let me just do that last phrase. That's a really fun phrase. And you got a couple of shifts. Shift, shift, hammer, drop thumb, shift again. Stay there. Shift, hammer, back. So I love that phrase. And if I wanted to fret the 5th string, you could do this. You could bar here and reach over and get that 7th fret. Get it with a thumb and then drop thumb 1 and 2. And some people like to do that. That's a different technique, and some people like to do that and some people don't. I think it's good either way. The ghost hammer is hard to get a good sound. You really got to do a piston there, and it depends on your action. So let me do the whole second part for you there. So and then we'll do the whole thing one more time there. You just be off to the races on the old straw bonnet. So the second part one more time. 1, 2, 3. Here I go. Right, you got that ghost hammer or the fretted 5th string. both parts one more time, the old Straw Bonnet. And I'll do on the mandolin, I did the chords and then the melody. I'll try that here too, just for fun. So I'll do the chords the first part and the melody, and the same for the second. So 1, 2, here's the chord. Repeats that. The C minor, and here's the melody coming up. Repeat that. Chords the second part. Way down there. D2 and 7 C. Minor, G down to bar 5F. And G and the melody. I love that shift. So I think you'll enjoy finding what works for you, you know, fretting that 5th string. Don't rule it out. It's kind of a fun thing to experiment with. And sometimes that's the best way to get all the notes clear. The ghost hammers are trickier, but they're a good technique too. So, and you can always leave a few notes out too, which is sometimes the best choice for the banjo player. Some of the best music I've made was when I left a lot of notes out. So enjoy Old Straw Bonnet, and try to play that banjo as often as you can. It helps the day go by in a better fashion. Thanks.